Here we're going to set up the board. We see a Amsterdam from the 16th century with a lot of nice, beautiful game elements, and we're going to set them up one by one. For starters, top right is the bankroom marker. With this we decide the length of the game. A short game lasts 3 bank runs, a longer game you can play until 4 or 5 bank runs. We do it with these bank run markers. These markers, their starting place, is determined by the amount of players that we are playing with. When we're playing with 3 players, they start over here. When we play with 4 players, they start over there. With 5 players, they start here. And with 6 players, they start over here. Every time there is uncertainty in the markets, the bankroom marker moves. When the bankroom marker is here, in this circle, it's a big crisis. What this crisis is exactly, we'll come to that in a moment. But this amount of crises determines the length of the game. In this video, we are going to play 5 bank runs with 4 players. So we're going to place them over here. Over here, in the middle of the game, we place all of the gold. It symbolizes the money in circulation that you can use to buy goods, to buy companies, and you can pay off your debts. It's always good to have gold. On the right, we place the markets. You see that these markets, they fit into each other exactly. Also here on the other side. And we fill them with these boxes. So the red boxes are in the red market. These are production goods. And the remainder, we place it in the bottom and we place it in the natural supply. And we do the same thing on the other side with the green blocks in the green market. Green blocks are consumption goods. And the leftover consumption blocks are going down below. If you place them here, you'll never believe it, but it fits exactly. We make money by selling goods. How do we get goods? We get goods by buying finance cards. Here on the board you see where they are supposed to start. Here you see the finance card. A finance card has 3 main elements. Top right you see the cost, the amount of goods that are needed to create it. This house takes 4 production goods to build. This determines the starting price. In the bottom you see the amount of production that a card creates every turn. And top left you see the guild that card is part of. If you have 2 cards of the same guild, they both produce 1 extra per turn. We're going to play the game with 4 players. Every player gets a vault where they can store their capital, their gold and the credit that they get from other players. Every player starts with a starting capital of 15 gold. 15 gold goes to every player. All players get credit. Credit is a promise to gold. And like you have with promises, is you can hand out more promises than you actually have. So here we see a promise of 5 gold by the purple player. And the purple player can make as many promises as he believes that he can make right. Finally, every player receives a small card of what a turn happens. What happens in a turn. In short, it says a bird starts with flipping a finance card, then you can bid on a finance card, then you can buy, sell and produce, then you may buy an action card, and you have to roll the dice. On the back side, we see how you win, how you determine the ending score. So every player counts how much gold you have, the amount of investments, the amount of goods, the credit of others you have, your credit rating, and from this you subtract the amount of credit you have outstanding to the board or to other players. What you have left is your net score, your net present value. So whoever has most assets and least amount of liabilities has won. All players, they can get one of these notes to help to remember them what you do in a turn. So finally, players have a credit rating. Credit rating is placed over here on the board. All players start in the lowest credit rating. The more debts you repay, the higher your credit rating is. So how do you pay for things? There's two ways in which you can pay. You may buy things with gold. With gold money, you place it on the center. Or you can pay with a promise to gold. You can pay with credits. And you do this by placing your credits on where your credit rating has been placed. In the beginning, everybody starts in credit rating 1, so you put it in the outermost circle. But if you repay enough credits, then you promote in credit rating. You go to credit rating 2, and now you can move your credits to credit circle 2. If you repay more debts, then you can level up your credit even more. So as you see, every circle that goes further inwards has been split up in even more housing blocks. So if you go up even further, you can divide your credit even further. And the further you divide your credit, the lower the risk and the lower the chance that you have to repay everything at once. If you manage to get to the highest credit rating, then there's only a chance of 1 in 6 that you can have to repay your debt.